Today I'm in Westminster in central London to try out a very special afternoon tea. It's at this place behind me, which is now the Raffles Hotel, but used to be the war rooms in the UK between 1906 and 1964. So this is basically where everything was decided during World War I and World War II. And the afternoon tea that I'm coming to is a special commemorative afternoon tea called Operation Mincemeat, which was a secret operation that took place in World War II. We'll talk about that a bit later. Let's head inside and see what this afternoon tea is like. So here we are inside the old war rooms, and this place is spectacular. It looks absolutely amazing. They spent £1.4 billion renovating this whole place, and you can see it. It is absolutely incredible. It's worth coming in just having a wander around the whole hotel. When you come in, there's a really big, impressive staircase, and there's a balcony above it where Churchill used to give all of his addresses to the troops, apparently. Well, the leaders, the generals sort of thing, giving them the information, what they needed to do each week. So really impressive, really good start, have to say. I'm feeling good about this afternoon tea, and it's Operation Mincemeat. We'll talk about that in a minute, but just want to look at the menu. And this menu, it's a leather-bound affair. It looks like something that you'd have in the Ministry of Defence. Very impressive, almost like a secret document. And in here, they've got a nice bit of theming. So we're on Operation Mincemeat. This says Secrets and Spies, you can see. There's a big write-up here talking about the history of this room and the building. This basically was where the Ministry of Defence, or the War Ministry, was based from 1906 to 1964. So 2 world wars involved in that, and also the Korean War as well. And we've got a nice bit of write-up. We'll go through the details of the afternoon tea when it arrives. Don't want to spoil anything. But basically, you can have standard tea, or you can have the plant-based tea. You don't have to order it in advance, so it's pretty good. And there are tons of actual teas in here. So I've ordered the drawing room afternoon blend. Afternoon blend, a bit less caffeine than the breakfast tea. Cameraman's gone for a coffee because guess what? He doesn't drink tea. Oh no, he's come to an afternoon tea, he doesn't drink tea. But he's gonna have all the coffees, he's gonna crack through all of those, and you can have hot chocolate as well included. So really looking forward to this very special afternoon tea. So I'll see you when the drinks arrive. So the tea here is very special. They actually bring it in a little box, and I just grabbed that. You can actually just smell it. And this isn't just for presentation purposes. This is actually the tea that I'm about to have. So watch this. This teapot's just full of water at the moment, and there goes my tea. And that is the first time that I've seen the tea being made in this way. That is absolutely phenomenal. And we've got a little timer here that tells us the perfect cup of tea. So have a look at the top there. We've got 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 5 minutes, depending on how strong you like the tea. So I have to say, I'm very impressed with the way the tea's served. The food has now arrived, and I have to say, I'm quite impressed. Really quite impressed. So we've got 6 different items. That's pretty good. You know, and some of these teas you only get 4. So these are the sandwiches, and you get your own little plate. There's no tiers and all of that. This is the sandwiches. So let's just run through this very quickly. We've got a smoked salmon one here. I have to say, look at that. Presentation, fantastic. It's got some roe on there as well, like basically little golden caviar. The cucumber sandwich, that is special. Wow. I'm looking forward to having that. Then we've got ham, beef, and egg mayonnaise, all of which are on totally different bread. Really like the way it's been presented. Very, very upmarket. And then in addition to that, we've got this little additional tart, like an amuse-bouche. And this is beetroot with blue cheese and almond and apple on it. So I really don't know where to start. I think I'm going to save that tart for a little bit later. I'll start with the salmon. Seems a shame to eat it, to be honest. So we've got salmon in the middle, but also look at that salmon on the top. There's a lot of salmon here. Bit of creme fraiche, bit of caviar. I'm going to go for the end with the caviar. Let's see what it's like. Oh, it's really good. It's really tasty, really fresh salmon, very light. Bread complements it really well. A little bit of cream cheese just to give it a bit of smoothness. The caviar, you can't really taste it, but wow, what a great start. And the presentation, that is incredible. Really, really impressed with that. I'm going to save my cucumber one because everybody knows I love the cucumber sandwich. So I'm going to have that at the end. Egg mayonnaise, not usually my favourite. Look at the ratio of filling to bread on that. Absolutely brilliant. There's more filling than bread. That's what you want from a sandwich. It's a good size as well. That's 3 or 4 good bites. That's really interesting. It's creamy. It's almost got a little slight mustardy taste in it. So it's different to what can be a bit boring, the egg sandwiches. That's got quite a lot of flavour in it. Bit of texture as well with the greenery. Yeah, overall, I have to say these sandwiches are really smashing it. And this ham one. And this is on poppy seed bread. You can see it's sort of slightly spotty. Got a good amount of ham in there. Not entirely sure what else. Let's have a quick look. Okay, we've got a bit of greenery in there too. Looks like really high quality ham. Not talking about ham from the supermarket here. That's quite different to the other 2 sandwiches. Oh, it's a bit spicy. I think we've got something in there, maybe a bit of horseradish or something. It's really delicate flavour on the ham. It's it's really tasty. I have to say these sandwiches are some of the best that I've had on an afternoon tea. Now look at the presentation of this one. Sorry, that was beef. That wasn't ham, that was beef. It looks like ham, it's so pink. I just remembered the server told me it's beef. This is the ham sandwich, which comes on tomato bread. Really, look, it's got like a sail on there. It's got a bit of sort of pancetta on the edge, which has been mounted in a slight bit of, a bit of paste. I'll have that end because it looks really tasty. That pancetta, I've not had anything like that on an afternoon tea before. That really takes this to a different level. Gives you the crunchiness, the saltiness, powerful flavour. The ham inside, really delicate and light. Really well balanced sandwich, that is. Fantastic. I've got the 2 best things to come. Look, I've got the tart and I've got this cucumber. The cucumber one seems a shame to eat it. The bread's actually hidden inside it. So you can see underneath, you can see the bread, but it's actually wrapped completely in cucumber. And then we've got a little bit of creme fraiche on the top as well. Let's see what it's like. That's one of my favourite cucumber sandwiches I've ever had because it's crunchy. Because the outside is all wrapped in cucumber, it's really quite crunchy. The cream cheese is absolutely delicious as well. That's a great combination. Anybody watching, make these for the cucumber part of your afternoon tea. That is an absolute winner. That's the best cucumber sandwich I've ever had. And let's try this tart, which is sort of a bonus item really. On the menu it says it's in a amuse-bouche, but it's all served at the same time. Quite weighty. Got the beetroot in there and the blue cheese with toasted almond and apple on the top. Let's see if I can get all of it in one go. Wow, that blue cheese. That's quite blue cheesy, quite strong. Beetroot, nice sweet flavour. Apple and the almond, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, this has started off absolutely amazing. This is, as a starting course, one of the best afternoon teas that I've been to. And I haven't even mentioned my tea, the afternoon blend tea. Really light, really fresh. You saw how it was made earlier. Goes really well with all of this. I'm really looking forward to a refill on these sandwiches because you're allowed to refill. You can't refill anything else, but you can refill sandwiches. And guess what? I am definitely refilling these. So I'm going to finish mine. The cameraman's going to have his, and we'll see you in a moment for the best bit of any afternoon tea, the scones. The scones and the cakes have now arrived, and also the pianist has turned up, and he's sitting very close to us. Just want to pan round briefly and see the pianist. So he's playing live music there. Very good. So, back to me. We're not here for the pianists, we're here for the food. So the cakes have arrived, and this is where Operation Mincemeat that I mentioned earlier, this is a special afternoon tea. It's really focused on the cakes. So I'll talk about Operation Mincemeat, what it was all about when we're going through that, because each one of these cakes has a little element from that story from Operation Mincemeat. It's a really fascinating piece of subterfuge and intelligence back from the 1943. But let's talk about the best bit of any afternoon tea, the scones. Now, I always like it when they come in this reveal, nicely covered up. And inside here, peeking through, we've got 2 scones. So let me just take them out. Now, they are warm, slightly warm. Here's the ordinary one. It's quite a big size, quite chunky. It's quite round, actually, quite domed. Normally, they're square, flatter. That's quite round. Nice shiny top on it, nice bit of glaze on the top. And also got the fruit scone with a few raisins poking out of that one. So both pretty healthy, pretty big actually. And in terms of what we got with it today, we've got a clotted cream obviously, and then we've got strawberry jam and lemon curd. So lemon curd does come on quite a few of the teas, so we'll see how that goes. Right, start off with the ordinary scone. Now, as you know, we don't cut it, we will break it. So hopefully this will break in half. Got me break all wrong, here we go. Not too bad, not too bad. Feels very light actually, quite bready inside. We'll see what that's like. Now, which way round to do it? Do we go jam first with cream on top, or do we go cream first with jam on top? I'm going to try both ways today. Cameraman's shaking his head, he's saying, don't do that second one. I'm going to try both ways. So we'll start off with cream first. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know the way to do this is to actually decant this onto your plate so that when the cameraman has some, he's not having to worry about me having put my jam into the cream or cream into the jam and so forth. So I'll start off with the strawberry jam. We'll go traditional to start with. Pop that on the plate. Get a good bit of that on there. We can get a refill on the jam, so it doesn't matter if I have all of it. Okay, we'll go cream first. This isn't usually the way that I would do it. I would normally put the jam on first, but I think this is the Devon way, I think. So I'll try that and then put a bit of the jam on. Oh, the jam's very thick. It does look like it's quite fruity. So it looks pretty good. Let's see what it tastes like. The scone. It's very light, the scone. It does taste a little bit like a bread cake, right? It tastes like a bread roll more than a scone. A scone usually is quite crumbly, a bit harder than this. This feels quite bready, looks quite bready. You can still see it. I'm not sure about that scone. The jam and the cream, first class, really good. The scone, maybe the fruit scone is different. Let's see if I can break this one a bit better than I did the last one. The problem with breaking it is because it's more like a bread roll, it's breaking like a bread roll as well. It's not cracking. Usually it'd be crumbly and there'd be bits all falling off it. This is definitely more like bread. I'm going to try this one the other way around. So I'm going to go jam first. Got a good bit of that jam. You know what? I want a bit more jam than that. Let's put a bit more jam on. I'm going to try lemon curd in a second. And then I'll go cream on top. Now, when I do this, I usually just put a little piece on the corner and then do it bite by bite. The fruit scone's much nicer because it's got the fruit in it. Jam and cream works really well. I do like it this way round. There is a difference. You may think there's no difference, but actually, whatever you have on the top gives you the overriding texture and flavour. So when you have cream on top, you have the scone flavour, then the jam, and then that creaminess comes through. When you put the cream on first, it's creaminess first before the flavour, which I don't like quite as much. That's really nice. But yeah, these scones, it's the only disappointment so far in this afternoon tea is that the scone is a little bit bready. So let me try the lemon curd. Now, lemon curd, don't know what your views are on lemon curd. I quite like it as an alternative. I'd probably prefer 2 jams than lemon curd, but I don't mind lemon curd. So let's put the lemon curd on first. I'll put it onto this fruit scone. Whack a load of that on. Looks pretty good. And then I'll get the cream on. Ooh, a load of cream. Let's see what this is like. quite a subtle flavour. It does taste a little bit lemony, but nowhere near as pungent as the strawberry jam. It doesn't give you that powerful flavour. Sort of a bit more subtle, more delicate, but still really nice. So overall, the jams are great. The cream's really good. Just not sure about these scones. They're a little bit too much like a bread roll. A little bit disappointing, but still really tasty, and I'm still going to eat them, and I'm sure the cameraman's going to eat his as well. So I'm going to crack on with the scones. I'll see you in a moment to talk about Operation Mincemeat and these amazing cakes. It's now time for the desserts, and they do look amazing. But before we do that, I want to just talk to you briefly about Operation Mincemeat, which was a special operation that was put together in 1943. Now, at that time, the Germans were still fighting on all fronts, and Italy, which was led by Mussolini at the time, was sympathetic to the Germans. So the Nazis were all over Germany. And the Allied forces wanted to push the Germans back. So they decided that they were going to invade Sicily. So in order to try to make that invasion easier, they came up with Operation Mincemeat. So this was a really interesting plan, plotted in this building here in the old war room, whereby they took a dead body. So they found a homeless man who'd ingested some rat poison, so he died, and they made a story around him. They dressed him up as a captain, and they gave him a briefcase. They actually put handcuffs on it and had a chain with the briefcase attached to him. And in that briefcase, they put a lot of things to basically trick the Germans. So Operation Mincemeat was, they gave him a backstory. So they called him Captain William Martin, and he had this briefcase. And in that briefcase, there were a whole lot of different things. But importantly, in there were some secret orders saying that the Allies were about to invade Greece. So they then took that body, they put it in a submarine, and they let it float in the water close to the shores in Spain. And Spain, at the time, they had Franco's in charge. He was also relatively ambivalent towards the Nazis, and so they knew that if that body turned up in Spain, it would find its way to German intelligence, which is exactly what happened. So Hitler got the note saying that there was a secret plan for the Allies to invade Greece, and so he moved all of the tanks and a lot of the army that was in Sicily over to Greece, waiting for this invasion by the Allied forces, which of course didn't come. It deflected all of the attention over to Greece. The Allied forces then invaded Sicily and found that it was much easier to take it because they'd reduced the number of people there, and it was a huge success. Now, the reason I'm telling you about that story is quite an interesting, fun story, but also these cakes are designed around that story. So we start off, let's have a look at each individual part here. So I'll go through these cakes one by one. So we start off with this one. This is designed to be exactly like the submarine that was used to float the body of Captain William Martin. Now this is actually, it looks like caramel. I'm just gonna have a little bite of it. I'll tell you exactly what it tastes like. I do love the design of it though. I mean, it looks fantastic. I've said it many times before, but you can tell the quality of an afternoon tea by how high standard the cakes are, and these are pretty good. Ooh. So we've got a biscuit base, it's like a caramel outside, and then a very, very light cream with a bit of toffee in there. Really tasty, really nice. Very light as well, not too filling, which I think is a good thing with the cakes, because you've got so many cakes, so many different things. You just had 2 scones. You don't want something that's too filling. Now this one, I'll tell the name of that, I've got all the details here on my phone. This is actually called the Navy, this one. Now the next one we're going to have is called this one, which is the Unspoken Hero. Now this is to do with basically the guys who put the plan together for Operation Mincemeat were people who didn't cut it to be able to go and fight in the front line. So there was I think there was a guy who was too small, a guy who was too tall, various things. So they put the plan together, and this cake is designed for them. And it's also a nod to Sicily. So we've got basil in here, that's what the green parts are, and lemon. So it's sort of the taste of Italy, and it's like a helicopter. That's really interesting because it's a cake, it tastes very sweet. The lemon part of it's very sweet, but the green part of it is basically like pesto. It's quite an unusual combination of sort of sweet cake and pesto, which you would normally associate with your sort of main meal rather than your dessert. Quite interesting though, quite like it. Now we'll go into this one. This one is called the intelligence room. And the design here is based upon an old style telephone that you would put your finger in and dial, which obviously they used to have back in 1943 when this was all going on. So this feels quite heavy. It's chocolate. I'll take the telephone part off the top if I can get it. Ooh, I can't get it off. Let's see if I can cut this. Get a cross section on it. It might shatter because it's got chocolate all around the outside, but let's have a look. Okay. So it looks like we've got a sort of a cream inside chocolate. Quite thick chocolate. I'll have the smaller piece. So, the other thing about this operation is that they, the story that they created around this dead body of William Martin, Captain William Martin, was that he was based in Scotland and he had a Scottish fiancée, and this chocolate is infused with whiskey as a sort of nod to that Scottish heritage. Now, as part of the story that they sold, to make it more believable, that in the briefcase that was attached to the dead body, they didn't just have the plans of the invasion of Greece, they had a whole lot of other stuff to make it more believable. So they had things like bank statements, a letter saying that he was overdrawn, he owed some money, and a love letter from his fiancée. And they even had an engagement ring on his finger. And this dessert here is called the Love Letter. And this is all about his fiancée, who was called Pam, and she was based in Scotland. So it was all make-believe, but that was what was in the letter. There were some love letters in there, and this is basically, they've got a love letter on the top, and then we've got Scottish raspberries and a white cream around the outside. So let's see what this one's like. Oh, it's really nice raspberry flavour. Quite light, quite tasty. I like that one. Now, the very last one, the dessert, is a sharing dessert. So this one's for both of us, and this is the briefcase. So it's that's what it's called, and it's to commemorate the briefcase that was attached to the dead body's hand for Operation Mincemeat. So let me it does look great. This has got classified on here. Quite good fun, quite well made. It's a sort of soft chocolate ganache. Let's see if I can just cut a slice off the side. There we go. So it's quite heavy, quite dense. I'll take a smaller slice because it feels like it's quite substantial. That's really tasty. Nice dark chocolate on the outside, soft on the inside, and it's got a bit of a biscuit base at the bottom. So overall, I have to say the theming here, absolutely brilliant. I've really enjoyed this Operation Mincemeat story as we've gone through the different constituent parts. We've got 5 different cakes here, which is quite a lot, and quite often you might get 4 or 3. So 5's a lot. Really a lot of attention to detail. Some nice flavours here. Very well presented, really good. So I have to say the desserts are first class. So we're going to finish them off. I'll see you at the end for, just before I go, actually, change my tea. I've got a white tea. So I do like a white tea with my desserts. It tends to be it's a bit thinner and a bit, this one's actually an apricot white tea, and it does have quite a strong apricot flavour, but it's really tasty. Really nice. So we're going to finish this off, and we'll see you at the end for the bill and the wrap-up. Now, just before we get onto the bill, you can see that it's my birthday today. So happy birthday, me. And I've got this cake, which is apparently chocolate and raspberry. But very nice presentation, really ornate. Someone's obviously quite good at writing happy birthday on there, and quite a nice cake as well. And we've also got a hot chocolate. So you can see that it looks quite luxurious. It comes with side order of marshmallows. So if you like your marshmallows. Very nice. Okay, let's see what the hot chocolate's like. Oh, that's indulgent. Very chocolatey. It tastes like real chocolate as opposed to chocolate powder. Now, on the birthday cake, I know a few people have got a little bit upset about the number of birthdays that I've had, and the cameraman is now 150 because he's had a lot of birthdays as well. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is just to show you, if you're coming here, the sort of thing that you might get if you're celebrating. So if it's your birthday or your anniversary, or you're just celebrating, getting a new dog or something like that, tell them, and you'll get something extra out of it, which I think is it's worth doing. So it doesn't cost you anything, and it's fine. So you can eat this birthday cake, finish my chocolate, and see you at the end for the bill and the wrap up. Okay, so here we are at the end of the meal, and the pianist is still playing away. He's going mental there. Anyway, I've got the bill. Let's talk about the bill first, and then we will talk about the food, and I will give you my score for this special Operation Mincemeat Afternoon Tea. So, the price of this tea per person is £87, so £174 for 2 people. Plus, there is a 15% service charge, which is another £26.10. So the total today is £200 and 10 pence. So basically £100 each. So not cheap. That's in the sort of the upper echelons of afternoon teas. Not quite as expensive as some. You know, you can pay £95 these days, but it's pretty expensive. So was it worth it? Well, firstly, I have to say that the venue here is spectacular. This room has so much pedigree, so much heritage, so much history, and it's really nicely done. The whole hotel has been really nicely refurbished. It's kept all of the character. It looks really good. It feels great, and a lot of big decisions were made in this room. Including the Operation Mincemeat that we talked about earlier. One of the things I didn't mention actually is that the body that they used for the Operation Mincemeat, the homeless man who became Captain William Martin, he was actually kept downstairs in the freezer. They kept him nice and cold, and then when they put him on the submarine and they floated his body and it went to the Spanish shore, it all started here in this room. So a lot of history going on here. But what about the food? Because that's the most important thing. Well, I have to say it started amazingly well. These sandwiches, they were some of the best sandwiches that I've had on any afternoon tea, and I've had quite a lot of afternoon teas recently. So started off absolutely 10 out of 10, absolutely brilliant. The only downside to this food was the scones. The jam was great, the lemon curd was good, I really liked the cream, but the scones, I'm not sure where they got their recipe from, but it wasn't a scone recipe, it was more like a bread recipe. So it was more like a bread roll course rather than a scone course, which for me was very disappointing because that's my favourite part of any afternoon tea. I would have loved a great scone. It was on for a 10 out of 10 before that. Unfortunately, the scones let them down a bit. However, the cakes were out of this world. They were amazing, they looked great, there was a lot of them. And then the design behind them and the theming and all of the links to Operation Mincemeat that we talked about, absolutely brilliant. So sandwiches 10 out of 10, cakes 10 out of 10, the scone not 10 out of 10. So what's the overall score for the Operation Mincemeat Afternoon Tea here at the Old War Rooms at the Raffles Hotel? I'm going to give it a very solid 9 out of 10. It would have been a 10 out of 10 if the scones had been good, but I've got to mark it down for the scones. You can't give me bread rolls instead of a scone, so it's going to come down to a 9. So I still would recommend it. I still think it's brilliant, and maybe when you come, they won't have bread rolls, they'll have scones instead. I hope so. I hope the management is watching this video and they change their recipe. But thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me here at the Old War Rooms. If you have, then please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again on the next meal. Cheers.